The Northern Utah WebSDR is equipped with several notch filters which are useful for removing strong CW carriers, or tones, that might appear within your receiver's passband. The first of these is Notch 1, which, on some WebSDRs, is called Auto Notch. This notch filter operates at the server end at the remote receive side itself, and it removes strong carriers or tones fairly effectively, such as those from carriers of shortwave broadcast stations, as often seen on 40 and 80 meters, or if there happens to be a tuner upper on frequency. The Notch 1 filter has the nice feature that since it resides at the server, it operates on the RF side of the signal path. If the unwanted signal is strong enough to activate the receiver's AGC, or automatic gain control, and deflect the S-meter, it can cause the QSO to which you are listening to become quiet.
Thank you for hunting us today with your 10 watts. Congratulations, and 7-3.
Notch 1 will remove the signal prior to its reaching the AGC stages and prevent such desensing. One problem with this notch filter is that it isn't particularly discriminating. While it works pretty well for very strong carriers, if the offending signal's carrier is not much stronger than the signal to which you are listening, it can be confused by this other audio, such as another station's transmission. The effect of this is that the notch filter will hunt, that is, it will seem to switch on and off as it is trying to find the strongest signal energy within your receiver's passband.
Uniform Oscar. I go by Uncle Oscar sometimes. Roger, and copy the 5.9 here, but a 5.6 here into California today. And I'm not sure that we have a side or a vertical, but it sounds like something fun.
For CW signals, or tones that aren't as strong, the Northern Utah WebSDR has the Notch 2 filter. This filter operates similarly to the Notch 1 filter, but it operates on the audio path only, running in code on your computer. What this means is that if the offending signal is very strong and causes the AGC to activate, it'll get rid of the tone, but it won't prevent the descent that could cause your received audio to become quiet.
I thought the band was going to be absolutely dead, according to what I saw on the geomagnetic storms and such, but maybe things have settled down. In any case, I don't hear a lot of other stations except for you guys that are calling us back with these great signals. All right, stand by. Here comes Uncle Oscar. He wants to say hi and give you double hunter credit. Double hunter credit coming. Kilo Juliet.
As such, it's best used for weak to moderate tones that might be annoying, particularly if you find that the Notch 1 filter keeps hunting, as it's not as prone to that problem. Notch 2 is also capable of removing multiple tones at the same time. Note that when first activated, Notch 2 may take a second or two to lock onto the carriers and remove them, and if one or more of the tones is quite weak, it may attenuate but not fail to remove them. Finally, the Northern Utah WebSDR has a third notch filter. Whereas Notch 1 and Notch 2 are automatic, seeking out a signal and removing it, this third notch filter, the VariNotch, is completely manual and is tuned using a slider. Like the other notch filters, once activated, this one is filtering at the selected frequency all of the time, whereas Notch 1 and Notch 2 need to have a signal on which they can lock, which means that for an intermittent signal, like a Morse transmission, they may not consistently remove it due to its intermittent nature. To use this filter, simply drag the button on the VariNotch slider to the right using the mouse, and the notch filter will be activated. As the slider is dragged toward the right, it will move from low to high frequency, with the frequency to which it is being tuned being displayed. To turn it off, simply slide it all the way to the left. Be aware that the VariNotch is fairly sharp, so you may need to move the slider quite slowly to find the notch and attenuate the undesired tone, something that becomes easier with practice.
Juliet 6, Echo Romeo at Kilo 3473, CQ Poda, QRZ, Whiskey 6 out.
This manual notch filter can be helpful if you are near a frequency with a carrier from a shortwave broadcast station or a local signal source, such as a birdie rated by computer equipment that doesn't change. Unlike Notch 1 and Notch 2, which should never be used if you are trying to receive CW or digital signals, the VariNotch can also be helpful in CW operation if there's a particularly strong signal that you would like to attenuate even further. Just like Notch 2, this filter operates on the audio only and won't prevent S-meter or AGC deflection from a very strong signal. Thanks for watching.